Hey y'all, it's your girl Tiasha back with another video. Before y'all do anything, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. You know all that good stuff I ask y'all to do every video. Thank you for all my new supporters and subscribers. Thank you for everybody who, sent their condolences and everything about the loss of my baby or my pregnancy. I thank y'all so much. It meant a lot to me. But today we're going to talk about my experience with Cytotec. If you didn't know, I had to take some Cytotec because I still had a little bit of tissue left in me from the pregnancy loss. So I had to take that. After my doctor's appointment, I went on ahead and took it. I had 8 pills I had to take, 2 every 4 hours. So, my experience with Cytotec wasn't necessarily a good one, but it wasn't like too bad. It just hurts. It just hurts so bad, and it makes you feel like you're contracting and pretty much going into labor. Like, even though I didn't have nothing in me but a small amount of tissue that was left, I still, after a while, like the first 1 to 2 hours wasn't nothing going on. I say about the 3rd or 4th hour after the first dosage, I started feeling pain, and the more pills I took, it felt like it started increasing the pain. I guess kind of like contractions, I don't know. And it really nothing happened besides me cramping and hurting. So I had to, end up going to sleep on it. And then later on that day, after about the 2nd or 3rd dosage, I ended up passing some tissue. And TMI again, I did get on some gloves because it went in the toilet, and it was bigger than what I expected it to be based off of the information that they had provided me, that was left inside of me. So I ended up getting some gloves and getting it out the toilet to see. And it definitely wasn't a blood clot. It definitely was, tissue from inside of my body. So I was happy about that. So I'm like, okay, good. I got the tissue out of my body. And actually, it was about this big. So it wasn't no little small one like I thought. And it hurted so bad. When it was coming out, like when I sat on the toilet to pee, and something just basically told me to push, and I pushed, and like it started coming out, and I wasn't expecting it, so I started to scream because it hurt, and then it came out, and I got it out, and I was like, yeah, that's not a blood clot. That definitely was a piece of tissue. So I was relieved. I was like, okay, but it was bigger than it expected. It was like this big. And then the pain kind of went away after that. But I still continued to bleed. So I'm like, why am I still continuing to bleed when they said once the tissue is out, the bleeding will stop or whatever. But that didn't happen. I did get some relief and get to go to sleep. The next day, I still had bleeding, but I didn't pass any blood clots. I didn't pass nothing. So I'm like, okay, I think everything's out. Hopefully, the bleeding stops and everything. But it didn't. And then the next day, so I took it the first day, I passed something. And the day that I did pass that first big piece of tissue, I threw up like twice. It was actually like I was going into labor. I threw up before I passed the clot and everything, and I was feeling real hot. Then I passed the clot. The very next day after that, nothing but, just bleeding. But it did seem like it lightened up a little bit, but I was still bleeding kind of heavy. Then the day after that, I just went to the bathroom just randomly and felt like I had to push. And I pushed and another piece of tissue came out. And this one was about like this big. So it wasn't as big.
But not small.
Yeah, it wasn't small. Okay, it wasn't small, but it wasn't big. It was about like this. And so after that, my stomach hurt off and on, but it wasn't nowhere near the pain from the first day and a half. I didn't have nowhere near that pain. And yesterday, I can officially say that, like, it was only like slight spotting. So I'm like, okay, yes, I'm relieved that, maybe everything is out of me. Because all yesterday I just had spotting here and there. And then later on in the day, I didn't have no bleeding at all. Like, even when I went to wipe, it would be just like a slight little spot or whatever. And today I could finally announce, today's Saturday, October 1st. I woke up, I haven't had any bleeding at all. Every time I go into the bathroom, there has not been any spotting, no nothing. So this is the first day in about a week and a half that I've went to the bathroom and I haven't had any bleeding. So I am so happy about that, because this has just been a crazy week and a half or week, since the miscarriage. And even prior to that, I was bleeding off and on. So it just feels good to finally not be bleeding again. How am I doing since everything has happened?
But it wasn't small.
Hush. You don't know what you're talking about. These kids. How am I feeling since everything has happened? Physically, I'm starting to get back to my normal self. I still have to get up and take care of my kids. Yesterday was Josh's birthday, so this weekend we are going to do something for him. Physically, I feel like I'm doing better than I am mentally. I have been able to get up a little bit more, do a little bit, but if I do too much, like if I start cleaning and I do too much, my stomach still starts cramping. I still look like I'm about 3 to 4 months pregnant, but physically I'm starting to feel better, feel like myself, and stop. Do you see me on here talking? Quit making noise. But yeah, so physically I feel better. Mentally, I have my moments. Like, I feel guilty when I'm having a moment of laughter or joy or anything. Then I feel guilty, like I'm going through, the loss of my baby. How can I be having a good time, or how can I be laughing or anything? But I got to realize that I do have 2 other kids. And just because this has happened, life doesn't stop for them. I still have to enjoy moments with them. I still have to create moments with them. And, I can't be walking around sad and depressed and stuff. Even though that's how I feel on the inside, I feel still lost. I feel still empty. I feel still sad. But they will never know it. Like, I still have happy moments with them where I'm laughing and having fun and, everything. But when they sleep or when I have a moment to myself, I do think about the situation and I do cry or want to cry. So I would say physically I'm doing better than I am mentally, but I'm just taking every day, one day at a time, taking it one day at a time and figuring out how to cope with life after having a miscarriage. I feel like my kids have allowed me to be all right a little bit better, because if I didn't have them two, I would probably still be laying in the bed looking crazy, crying, not getting up. But I have to because they depend on me, so I got to get up. I still gotta, maintain my household and stuff. But if I ain't had no kids, or if my kids wasn't around, I would probably still be sad and laying in bed and looking crazy. I don't want this video to be too long, but I just thought I would give y'all an update on how everything is going mentally, physically, how my experience with Cytotec was and everything. No, my channel is not just gonna be about, my pregnancy loss and everything, but this is a moment in my life that I'm going through. So, of course, the next couple videos may be about this situation as I figure out how to cope with it and how to get over everything. But we will get back, hopefully, into happy moments and seeing the boys more and seeing me more and us enjoying life and everything, because, life goes on. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. I thank you to those who have been watching my videos and commenting and sending condolences and everything. I really do appreciate it, and we're gonna get through this together.